Laura Gilpin is best known as a Southwest photographer, particularly of the Rio Grande River and the Navajo people, New Mexico. Her collection is in the Amon Carter Museum in Texas. So she's most known as maybe a woman in the line of Ansel Adams, a landscape photographer of the Southwest. But my presentation is going to be about how her having been born and grown up in our area and what she did here played a major role in that career. She was born in 1891, grew up in the area, had commercial photography studio in the area, was deeply influenced by everything she saw here and everyone she met here to become the photographer that she was. And her first artistic and commercial successful photography was of major features in our area. One of my favorite stories about Laura is when she was sent to a hoity-toity school in New York City. She didn't fit in very well, and she startled the people there. Instead of going around in nice young ladies' clothing, she went around dressed as a cowboy. Her background is just amazing because she was here at a time when she could grow up out on the plains on a ranch with a father who was related to the great Governor William Gilpin, who was a major expansionist, a major advocate of the West and of Colorado. The great photographer William Henry Jackson was a friend of her father's and came to her home and took pictures there. She also lived in Colorado Springs as a youth and became friends with William Jackson Palmer and his partner, Dr. William Bell. They introduced her. Bell was a photographer, and Palmer introduced her especially to the value of nature, took her out on rides, taught her about the plants and trees and wildlife and the idea of hunting wildlife with a camera. There's so many things that make her part of Colorado Springs and the Pikes Peak region, and that influenced her into being what she became. She certainly influenced the view that people had of the Southwest, parallel and contemporary with Georgia O'Keeffe, the artist. She certainly influenced, I think, the view that people had of the Navajo and also of the Anasazi, Mesa Verde National Park. So she captured so much of that and lived among people when she photographed them that I think she really added to our national awareness of the region that Colorado is part of. We don't always comfortably connect Colorado Springs with the Southwest. There's a big Southwest Studies program at Colorado College. When I've worked with them, we've talked about seeing Colorado Springs as maybe the gateway to the Southwest, because geographically it's fudging a little bit to say it's in the Southwest. But the gateway to the Southwest works well when you look at Laura Gilpin. It's as though she, being born here, growing up here, appreciating everything about the West from here, then saw the Southwest and went and opened that to the rest of us. There are several very rare collections of her photography, including the glass plate negatives, the original negatives of her photography here, that are not in collections where the rest of her material is in Texas. And so one of the things that's nice about doing a presentation is that I can share some of those images and have those collections be something more people are aware of. I've been part of the Pikes Peak Library District Annual History Symposium since the first one. I think that they are one of the most valuable things we do locally about our local history. The books have acquired a lot of professional attention as fine works. All of it, the symposium and the books, present so much local history that was not being made available to people any other way. People who love the library and love local history come to these, but also scholars, and the books are read around the country. So I think it's one of our major contributions to the field of history. you.